Okay, you are in the kitchen with Jelly007.com and his Ninja Foodie. And tonight, chicken pot pie. And I mean, look at it. It looks fantastic, and I'm sure it will be if it's like everything else I've done in this thing. Right here's a recipe, and it comes out of the Ninja Foodie recipe booklet that comes with your Ninja. And it's all simple, easy to find ingredients, and it calls it, by the way, it calls it an intermediate recipe, but I really don't see anything in here that's going to make it that complicated. I mean, it calls for a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, easy to find, a half an onion, some chicken broth, some thyme, parsley, heavy cream, some frozen peas, let's see, a stalk of celery, and a carrot, 2 cloves of garlic, a half a stick of unsalted butter, and then it wants 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast. Now, I got 2 pounds and 4 ounces, so that's what I'm going to use. Now, one thing I will say you need to note is in the ingredients list, if you're going to shop for these items, you need to write in pie crust. They don't mention it in the ingredients, but they do in the directions, so you got to have it. And it's simple to find, just something like that. So, with that being said, now one thing I will say, they want you to preheat it for 5 minutes, which this would probably be a good time to do it, because all I have to do right now is peel this carrot, cut it up, and chop up this stalk of celery, and cut that onion in half and chop it. But for the record, I'll show you right quick. It wants you to do a sear. It wants you to heat the pot for 5 minutes. So you press sear and it comes up automatically at high. You just press that one time, and what they want is medium high, which it says MDHI, which is medium high. Then you would press start, and they want you to do that for 5 minutes before you start any of the sauteing. So that being said, I'm not that close yet because I've still got to chop all that up. I'm going to turn that off, but 5 minutes before, I'm going to bring you back at that point, and when we dump it in there, we're going to kind of see how it starts up sauteing. But anyhow, hopefully this is going to be short and sweet, and I'll be right back. Y'all hang on just a second. Okay, so I've got the carrots and the onion cut up, which is what they want next, along with the garlic. They want you to wait on the celery to another step. So in a minute, we got to put all these items right here, the butter, the carrots, onion, and the garlic. But right now, we got to do the 5-minute preheat. Now, I may have went a little fast on that a while ago, so I wanted to say it. You press the sear saute button, and then the down button on the temp one time, and that gives you MD high. Right, then you press start, and you let it sit for 5 minutes till it gets warm, and then we're going to add those items. I'll be right back. Okay, so that's been at least 5 minutes, and I'm just going to add the butter while you're watching so you can kind of see how it reacts and how it does. And you can see it's fairly warm, no doubt. And we got to let that melt. And I probably could have cut it up a little bit, made that go a little faster, but yeah, I ain't in that big a hurry. So I'll get this melted down. And then all we have to do is add the onions and carrots and mince that garlic in there. So, and then that's supposed to stay for like 3 minutes before it's sauteed. So once I do that, we will move on. I will probably, once I add the garlic, I'll probably end this part, and we will, there goes and I'll bring you back in about 3 minutes, but right now, let's see if I can do this fairly simple. 2 cloves. And there they go. I know I get in front of the camera a little bit, but all right, there we go. That's pretty much it. Now we're going to let that go for about 3 minutes, it says. I'm actually going to do a little look and feel, see how it looks in 3 minutes, but just want to get everything coated with that butter a little bit. And like I said, 3 minutes, we'll see how it looks. So, be right back. Or I'll let you look right quick. That's how it looks, so obviously. I'll be right back though. Okay, so that is pretty much exactly 3 minutes. And I will say, if this were not fixing to be pressure cooked for 3 minutes, I would probably let those onions and carrots go a little longer, but because they're not quite translucent. But anyhow, I'm going to pressure cook them, so I'm going to go by their directions. They said 3 minutes, and that's where I'm going to be at, roughly. So all we have to do now is 1 cup of chicken broth. And all of the chicken, which was supposed to be 2 pounds. This is 2 pounds and 4 ounces. We're going to stir this around to get it coated up a little bit. Just kind of knock it around. I ain't really trying to do much more than that. Just more or less combine it a little bit. And then the lid. Lock it, seal it, knock it off. See if you can see that. Yes, you can. And pressure for, pressure high for 5 minutes. Press start. Check that again. Make sure it's sealed, and it is. So we'll let that finish, and then we add the rest of the ingredients, all except, of course, the pie crust. But we'll be right back in a minute. I got to chop that celery, and we'll be right back in just a second to do that part. All right, we're coming up on the end of the 5 minutes of pressure, and all we have to do here is do a quick release. So when that's done, we'll be back and add those ingredients right over there. All right, there went the pan at almost exactly 2 minutes. So all we're going to do now is open this lid up. See what it looks like, and you can see it looks pretty good so far. I'll set this lid down somewhere. Well, I might put it here, and then we're going to add that's a teaspoon of thyme, a tablespoon of parsley, and that 1 stalk of celery cut up. A 1/2 cup of peas, frozen peas it called for, and a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm going to go ahead and stir that up just because of the flour. I don't want it to sit right there and start trying to do anything. And now we got to add a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. I'm going to call that a 1/2 cup right there. We'll stir this up. And I'm going to show you what it looks like, because next we have to go back to the saute function, and we're just pretty much letting it reduce a little bit or cook down just a little bit. But I think that's plenty of that. So it wants me to do the same thing with the well, I'll let you see it right quick. It looks good. I mean, it does. We're back to the same thing where we hit sear saute, and instead of being high, press temp down 1 time. And we go to MD high or medium high, and that's supposed to take, I think it is, let's see, about 3 minutes. It's supposed to start bubbling, and then at that point we're going to lay that crust on top, and then you just fold the remaining over. So I'm going to see how that goes. I'm going to try it. We're going to try it. We're going to see how it works. But I'm a little interested on how that's going to work. But I'm fixing to find out. We all are. But I'll be right back when that starts bubbling. Or in 3 minutes, I'll bring you back and show you what it's doing. But anyhow, hang on. Okay, so there it is at 3 minutes. And for the record, it started bubbling around 1 minute. So I ain't gonna lie, it does look pretty good. It's a little loose than I would have thought it would have been. But at this point, we're supposed to put the pie crust on there. So I'm gonna let it go just a few minutes longer. I mean, maybe 3 more minutes. Just because I think it should be a little more reduced than that. But I'll be right back. We're gonna let it go just a minute longer. Okay, right now we're at about 5 minutes of the saute sear, medium high. I did want to show this right quick, just in case you've never dealt with one of these before. They're pie crust. You find them in the refrigerated section. They come like this right here, rolled up, and you can see the edge right there. And all you do, obviously, is cut off this end right here, and then you just unroll it. So that's what we're fixing to do. I'm assuming, and I'm going to turn it off right now because that's been right at 6 minutes time of the what I call reduction time. I don't know of a better term. Anyhow, let's see. It says lay pie crust evenly on top. It says add remaining ingredients, blah, blah, blah. And then it says about 3 minutes, then lay pie crust on top. And then we got to put it on the broil feature. So I'm going to turn it off. We're going to have it off before long anyhow. So this is the part I'm somewhat wondering about. And I wanted it to stop bubbling. So I'm going to give it a minute to stop bubbling. I can't imagine that hurting. So I'll be right back when it stops boiling. Okay, so it slowed down on the boiling just considerably, just in about a minute. Now, I'm going to see if I can figure out if this works as the way it sounds. And you know what? It wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe I was overthinking that. And then it says, you know, fold it back over. I went ahead and got this fork where if I needed to, but I ain't sure. That fit pretty close. That Pillsbury pie crust fit pretty close to the Ninja. I'm gonna go ahead and press around the edges a little bit. And then you're supposed to cut some slits to let this steam escape. I'm gonna say 4, and I'm good with that. All right, now, back it up where you can see what's going on here. Well, I guess you can see that good enough. That's what it looks like before we start. I'm going to press the broil feature for 10 minutes, I believe it is. I'm going to triple check that. I think I've already looked 10 times, but there we go. It is 10 minutes. So, I'm sorry. Whoops, did the wrong one. Broil. 10 minutes is already set. There we go. We're off and running. And in 10 minutes, we're going to see what some chicken pot pie in the Ninja Foodi looks like. I will be right back. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I've been really anxious to open that lid to make sure that wasn't burning, but it doesn't smell like it is. And I did not open it. So we're going to wait on that to go till it's done. There it is. Let's see. Ah, a little brown right in the middle, but other than that, that looks pretty good. So I'm obviously going to let that cool just like that. I'm not going to close the lid back. I'm going to let this cool down for a minute, and hey, that looks good. So be back in a minute and put some in a bowl. See how it is. Okay, so it's been right at about 10 minutes since it finished. Now, I will say one thing I noticed. I think what happened, the only reason, which is nothing wrong with it, but the only reason it got brown right there is I think it lifted and got near that element. And I had cut slits, but it looks like they kind of sealed up, if you know what I mean. I think it may have lifted up a little bit and got a look again. There's nothing wrong with it. So I'm going to get a bowl out and see how it looks in a bowl. And the crust seems perfect. I don't lie, I'm again, not many things in this thing has not impressed me. And this is just another one of them. And it looks excellent. So I'm going to get just a little bit more of that crust. And try and get it to act like I want to kind of look pretty. And that is what it did. I mean, look, that is pretty neat. I'm not going to lie, that is a very, very good looking chicken pot pie. I'm still going to let it cool. If you can see, it's steaming. And that's about probably, well, I can tell you, because it was exactly, we're at 15 minutes since when I pulled it out, or since I turned it off. Anyhow, I'm going to let it cool a minute, and I'll be right back. Okay, so my version of the chicken pot pie, and which is theirs, identical, and you can see I got pretty dang close, and by following their directions, you know, exactly. And I had a hot spot. You know, they got a hot spot. I'm just saying it adds character. It works. I guarantee you that is one of the better chicken pot pies I've ever cooked. And it's got a great flavor. I've cheated again, and I've already tried it. That pie crust works excellent. It works excellent. Now, they like to throw me off because, honestly, I cut up an onion, a carrot, and a celery and mixed it all together after I chopped it because I thought it was like a mirepoix. Yeah, that's a big word, but long story short, that's not what they called for, and I don't know if that was I mean, 9 out of 10 times you're going to see people, if they say onion, carrot, and celery, it's all to be sauteed together. But they didn't call for that. If you read it, it wants the onion and the carrot only. Long story short, and then add the celery later. So I dug around in there and found some celery, and I kind of see why. I don't know if it's a typo or whatever. I don't think it is, because the celery's cooked perfect. And it had still had good bite to it. You know, if you do it in a saute mode, it's not. You're not going to know it's there. And I'm good with that with onions and carrots, because the carrots definitely need it. Long story short, this works, man. I mean, it's a very, they call it intermediate. I don't think so. It's really not. You're just cutting up normal vegetables, nothing special to it. I'd say it's an easy. And the crust, the chicken pot pie itself is excellent. The chicken is just like any chicken that you cook in an instant or in a Ninja food or a pressure cooker. It's perfect. It really is. So I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I assure you, this right here has got some excellent recipes in it, and it's thought out pretty much. I mean, it really is. So, In the Kitchen with Jelly, or jelly007.com, I always say it. That's the way to find me, www.jelly007.com. That's my webpage. It takes you to all my videos because my YouTube name is so crazy, you'll never figure it out. Or I couldn't tell you how to get to it. It's complicated. But anyhow, I really do appreciate you watching my videos, and I swear, I really mean that. I appreciate anybody that watches and comments and gives me suggestions. I'm good with all of it. But please like and share and subscribe and all of the above. And I hope I'm helping. I hope I'm helping at some point, or I hope it helps you if you're making some of these recipes. You can look at this first and get an idea. So I'm going to let y'all go tonight, and I'll probably be back in a couple more nights. But anyhow, In the Kitchen with Jelly, www.jelly007.com. Y'all remember that. Come back to see me. Have a good night.